YouTube is such a fun experience right now. It's also an experience that's up and down. The learning phase of YouTube is something that I never seen before. It's a task that you go through an up and down cycle like a roller coaster. Like 1 minute you feeling good, and the next minute you down because you're not seeing the views you want to see. But I want to talk about how I'm starting to see a lot of people talk about quitting their job for YouTube. And I guess people are actually doing it for real. That's making money. I'm not there yet, but I could definitely say I don't think that would be a smart choice even if I was monetized. Reason why is because I'm going to say this. When it comes to getting paid from a revenue, anything can change. That's one thing about YouTube I have noticed. Even with the updated system this year of getting monetized, I can tell you that a lot of things have changed. Like they lower the bar when it comes to shorts, but far as like getting paid from ad revenue, that is still up to I believe what 4,000 watch hours and 1,000 subscribers. But you have it whereas those shorts you can I believe it's like 3 million, but you can have 500 I think subs under something. I forgot all the numbers. Y'all probably know anybody that's on YouTube right now that's doing content or got their email. But what I think is particularly strange is that you are seeing a lot of people talking about quitting their job, or they did quit their job. Whether they did or not, you never know what's true today. But I could tell you this: this whole thing about quitting their job to me is wild because I'm gonna tell you something. YouTube is not a place that you wanna or not a platform that you wanna quit to have it subsidize all your bills. The reason why I say that is because anyone that has a family would not be that would not be a smart move. One of the reasons why it would not be a smart move is because you got to think about medical. Medical is one of those. It's one of those bills that can come out of nowhere, and a bill that's really expensive, especially if you don't have Medicare. And I have a job, a full-time job, and I have my family on my medical. So when you look at that, that's a major component about quitting something and taking on a task where you have a full-time job that you're able to make your own hours, which is doing videos and content on YouTube. Another thing is um, the money. The money is going to be up and down. 1 minute you can probably be making 6, 10, 20,000 something. But if you're not new to YouTube, you also have noticed people that end up falling flat, that been doing content for some time and they got stuck in doing the same type of content to the point where they actually fell off, whereas though they was not able to get back on that train to be able to make that type of revenue again. And I see that a lot in people that do a lot of vlogs, especially channels where you got a lot of people buying cars, high priced cars, expensive cars, and they doing all type of modifications to them. So on the outside looking in, it look like everything is going good. But what you don't know is a lot of times, and you end up finding out later, they had car notes, they had type of leases, which means they have a lot of their revenue coming in, going back out towards bills. This is something that you don't want to play around with. That's something that's going to make a lot of people collapse out here. Also, not being able to get up and go to work, I can understand the philosophy for that. You're making your own schedule, so I understand that that is that's the area that a lot of us want to get to. But it does not take away from the part of life where at any given time, any platform can switch up, change up how they paying people, change up their guidelines. I done seen channels get canceled. We all done seen it. If you watch certain channels, we done seen them get canceled, lose their monetization off of one simple mistake, whatever it may be, and they're canceled. And it's nothing worse than having money coming in and you setting your own schedule, and then all of a sudden your channel just up and just disappear. And in some cases, don't disappear. It's just they lose revenue. They no longer will get any benefits of being monetized because they lose all their monetization due to a strike or something that was inappropriate that Google seems fit to be able to stop their channel from getting any type of revenue. Also, if you've been paying attention to the revenue that's been coming in, you also, if you do any research on this, you will find out that you can have strikes on you, and will stop your money from coming in. You will not be making any money, or you will get fined. And if you look it up, a couple people talked about that on YouTube, talking about that they lost revenue, but end up coming back maybe like later on, maybe 2 months down the line, whatever. They was on like probation. We all know about that if you read any of the guidelines. So this is why I think, in a lot of ways, you might want to be careful of the quitting your job doing it full time, especially if you got money coming in. And the reason why I keep saying that is because if you're not marketing yourself to grow a business under whatever you putting out, whatever you vlogging about, you selling merch to the point where as though you making a good, what I'm gonna say, be honest with you, I think a reasonable number, if you're going to be selling merch and doing products outside of YouTube that's connected to YouTube, it should be at least a good 40 to 50 and above. And that's a good number. That number is attached to the money you already getting, which is most likely going to probably take you to a 6-figure mark. But you still have to be cautious of how you spend. Because remember, with YouTube, it causes people, and I even noticed this, and I've been on YouTube for a short time, but I've been on YouTube for years, but I didn't start doing content creation till recently. And I see the burnout. I see that how I'm a small channel, but at the same time, I can see the burnout. I can see how at certain days you just like, I don't feel like shooting anything. And you literally feel that way to the point where as though it doesn't even feel comfortable. And you have to get yourself to a point where you feel motivated. But sometimes you can't even motivate yourself because the motivation comes within. And also it comes within the guidelines of your work schedule. Like if your work schedule is long, normally when you come home, you're going to be tired and drained. So that's something to even think about, even trying to start this. So it's also a good regimen to build up to be able to add this into your schedule. But I could never see myself just blatantly just stopping work and stop all the progress that I put out there in order to have money coming in that I know is guaranteed to come in, even though you could be fired at any time. But let's be honest, when you have a job and you're doing YouTube and you're starting up a business and you also have other revenues coming in, I'm going to be honest with you, that is more comfortable than anything. I don't care what nobody say. When you have revenue coming in, I don't think you would want to stop your revenue of the one area of that field, of that, category of money coming in just because you on YouTube. You get what I'm saying? So I think you should think about that and make a smart decision. Because like I told you before, benefits is everything. Some people might not think benefits is the best, but I'm going to tell you right now, benefits are very important. Ask anybody that ever had a situation happen. Anything can happen. I've been put out of work for almost 3.5 months, almost 4 months, and my money stopped. Only thing that kept me afloat was I had a little bit of savings, But even that ended up running out. And by the time I made it back to work, the money came in from being out from medical. So think about that. Money still came in, but I was still going through it those months. So if I had another revenue stream coming in, I wouldn't have been as stressed. I probably would not be rushing back to work, but I'm still going back to work. Key thing, I'm still going back to work. So I think that's very important. Another thing, not having a job to go to, official job that you clocking in, and you having a schedule where as though you can roam around and just do videos, that's a gift, but it also can be a curse because when you normally don't have nowhere to go and you making your own schedule, it's a beautiful thing. I would love to make my own schedule. But you also gotta remember, if you never did it before and you just jumping out there doing it, you can see easily in life how that can you can get caught up in the hype and start doing extra things out here to the point where as though your money start running low. So I would never want to see myself doing that, but I've been there before when I used to go out a lot. Go out a lot, so much to the point where stuff I don't even understand where half of that money went. So when it's bill time, my dumbness, knowing I was living by myself, had an apartment, still do, have a home now. But you live and you learn. So, but it's just funny because I think we live in an atmosphere now where though so many people are thinking about or trying to jump out there in a world of where they doing content and they thinking they just not gonna work. But you're seeing suicide, you're seeing all type of things happen today that's making people do the craziest things, all because of views. And one thing about this YouTube thing, it's a false presentation. When you watch people a lot and you tend to think that they a lot bigger than what they are, and then something end up happening, and then you sit back looking confused or watching the news trying to figure out what happened to this YouTuber. But remember, if I'm watching it, you're watching it, it's the millions of other people that's watching people. So this is why, I think that you do not want to take that type of advice. You want to have multiple streams of income so you can have a revenue and something to come back to. Not to say that you set yourself up for failure. I don't think you set yourself up for failure. But we live in a world now where though you need more than one income to make you feel a little bit more stable and a little bit more comfortable. Because you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket, and then when you lose, you basically held on to the media, not to the media, but to the social platform, looking for that one check. And we all seen it in TikTok. When TikTok shut down, people ran scared. And sadly, it's still not done yet. Because remember, it's back up temporarily. So think about that. All right?